Good morning. So, how do you know if you're failing? How do you know if you're failing? So failure is a word that is used a lot to brand ourselves, but rarely used to brand others. You notice that? We rarely will say, oh, you're a failure to someone, but we're very quick to point out that we're a failure. Ever get that? And I bring it up because on your journey of behaviour change, of habit change, of weight loss, fat loss, fitness. Morning, Debbie. I'll see you in a minute. Might even see you on the street. Where are you? I can get you in on this. So, we will reach a point where, you get the initial excitement of change, and then you might get that optimistic feeling where you're doing okay, doing well, and you're starting to get some results. Then it kind of hits in that maybe you kind of lose that motivation a bit for a little bit. So you're like, actually, this is harder than I thought. Hey, Bindu, this is harder than I thought. Can I actually do this? Then stuff gets in the way that maybe didn't get up before, or things start to, you get a bit lax with it maybe. So let me take, for example, the 800 calorie diet. One of the ladies who's doing it at the moment, she was doing it really strictly, and then she's doing it a bit less strictly now, but she's still seeing results. But I said it's really normal of how it works, and it's really normal in that I said it's normal in terms that you're probably not going to do it forever anyway. But in a lot of cases, in some cases, we can perceive that as failure because I'm not doing what I was doing 2 weeks ago. And how do you even know that's what you're meant to do? How do you know that that is failure or not? And the reason I bring that up is because then we can then label ourselves as a failure, which then dictates what you do next. That then dictates if you go, actually, yeah, that wasn't what I'm supposed to do, so I'm a failure, so I'm just going to go completely off it and quit and just think, there's no point, I'll go back to where I was. Then we truly actually have failed. And the reason I bring this up is sometimes it comes down to this. I just had a chat with one of the ladies, and she said something that really kind of comes to mind, which is, once I've made my mind up, I've made my mind up. And you can be really overwhelmed, really like, I don't know where to start, what to do. But once you just commit to doing one thing, whether that's doing 20 squats in the morning to get the momentum building again, whether that's doing one 15-minute workout a day and getting to bed before 10 o'clock, whatever the low-hanging fruit is, you can start to build that momentum back up again. And where does this often come from then? Why do we sometimes perceive things as failure when it's clearly not? You wouldn't say someone else is a failure for doing the thing that you've done. And when you actually look into it, it's because we perceive the things we have to do as one, overwhelming, and two, harder than they actually are. Normally because we lack the energy, and we haven't really done something for us to have the energy, and I'm guilty of this in the last few weeks. We lack the energy, which is the most important thing. If you have energy, everything else is easier. Notice it. When you do things that make you feel good, everything else is easier. So if you have nothing to look forward to, if your week is like, I just can't wait to end this week, then we need to start structuring things in that actually make us feel good. Otherwise, how can we expect to feel good if we're not doing anything that makes us feel good? Right? It's impossible to feel good, to just randomly feel good. People don't just randomly feel good. They have to do something that makes them feel good. And this is something that we touch on a lot. And it's so simple. I can feel tired, I can feel stressed. I can go home and dance with my daughters for a bit. Sing, I won't sing it here, but Moana, You're Welcome, is up there at the moment. Frozen Let It Go has kind of gone down a bit. It's gone down a bit hill. Aladdin's still up there, but You're Welcome, Moana, the whole soundtrack actually. If we arrange a different time, I can go through it in a bit more detail for you. I won't now though. But that can completely change my energy, and it just proves just how much of a state your energy is and how changeable it is. Like, for example, this morning, I spoke to one person yesterday. They're a bit like, oh yeah, I'm struggling in motivation, da-da-da. They come to a session this morning completely different in the morning. How can you change so quickly? Remember that next time that you have a wobble, you feel like you're demotivated, you just need to get very clear on one thing you're going to do. Even if it's the wrong thing to do, it doesn't matter. Just do it, and I guarantee you'll start to build a bit of momentum again. And if you are overhyping the lows, just be wary of, and just check in with yourself. Have I done something for me this week? Have I actually just been doing everything for everyone else and neglecting myself? Because when your energy is low, everything else will be harder. Like things like writing down what you eat seems like an uphill battle. Things like doing a 10-minute exercise session seems overwhelming. So just take a step back, focus on doing something for you that's fun, because you're allowed to, no matter what you've been told, whether that's lazy. You can't have a nap because it's lazy. You can't get to bed there because it's lazy. You'll feel guilty if you sit down because you should be doing something else. These are all stories we tell ourselves, but actually we feel guilty anyway, right? If you feel guilty because you're snacking and eating when you're not hungry but you're looking for a pick-me-up, you'll feel guilty anyway. So you might as well feel guilty doing something that's going to give you energy, aka having a nap, reading a book, having a cup of coffee with no phone. I'm guilty of that. Not doing that enough. So I hope that helps, and if you're really struggling, just have something to look forward to. And I noticed that during lockdown I had nothing to look forward to in terms of like little days out and stuff like that. That's why we try and have something to look forward to, like Cotswold Wildlife Park actually this weekend. Little things like little milestones to go, actually yeah, that forces me to go, yeah, I've got that to look forward to. Little things like that can change your energy completely. Otherwise, of course, you're going to feel like it's a never-ending battle. You've never got any breaks if you haven't got anything booked in. And I'll finish with this. One of the ladies said, I've got to add in an hour a day to do some work. They had some extra work come in because they've got to transfer some data over to a new system of their work. And she had an aha moment and was like, if I can structure in an extra hour for that, I can structure in 15 minutes to get a workout in. That's true, right? Treat it like a meeting, because what's more important in the grand scheme of things? Without your health, we haven't really got much. Anyway, that was a tangent in the end, but a ramble. But I'm nearly there at the end of my high street. I'm the end of the high street, so nearly ready for our session. So, any questions, as always, let me know. Thank you for joining me on my walk. Stay safe, drink your water, eat your protein, and speak soon.